How y'all doing? Hello, beautiful people. How y'all doing today? I am Queen Lily, and as usual, we are talking about Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump. Yes, that's who we're talking about. We're going to cover some subjects that has to do with Donald Trump for as he is upset with the judge in New York for not dropping his charges, the 34 felonies. Also, he's mad because the judge will not remove the gag order. Donald Trump is really upset right now. But the judge is standing on business. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they're standing on business. So, hey, this judge is standing on business. He would not drop the charges against Donald Trump for the 34 felonies, nor will the gag order be dropped. And Donald Trump wants everything to just go away, but it's not working in his favor. It's not going to happen. We're going to discuss his cabinet members that he picked, his administration. We're going to discuss Elon Musk. Also, if you would like for me to read your comments, send me a super chat and I will read your comments. For me to read y'all comments, send me a super chat and I will gladly read it. Also, if you feeling jolly today, you want to send me a super chat, send me one. Thank you. That's a way to show appreciation for me going live and giving y'all the goods on Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and the list goes on and on. Also, you can send me a gift, gem, if you like. That'd be great. And in my description, you will see I have a PayPal link. So if you would like to send me a donation, a tip, you can send it through my PayPal link that's in the description as well. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Again, I am Queen Lily, and thank you. Just a moment, please. This is Life Under Trump, Part 28. Life Under Trump, Part 28. December the 18th. This particular video, it is the Senate. They rebels on Trump. It's not working in his favor right now, and Trump is not happy with it. So I'm going to show you that video, okay? Thank you for coming to my live. I am Queen Lily. Thank you, King Alberto. Thank you, King Dread. Thank you, Slavissa. Thank each and every last one of you beautiful kings and queens. Hold on. Just a moment. I keep going to that video for some reason, and I don't want that. Okay, just a moment. The Senate is trying to give Donald Trump a hard time. They are declaring war with Donald Trump, and he is not liking it.
This is Sundays for Dogs. Sundays is human-grade air-dried
It's a commercial,
dog
one moment.
food. 90% meat, 10%.
A top, powerful U.S. Democratic senator just threw down the gauntlet against Donald Trump and his slow-moving coup to enrich himself and all.
Y'all, I apologize. I thought I had my mic on. I am so sorry. I apologize.
We are about to possibly witness the greatest legislative versus executive branch fight in American history, saving what we sort of think we know about living in a somewhat democratic society as opposed to going full corporate oligarch billionaire run autocracy. And if you're wondering,
hold on,
where
y'all.
might be coming from, how about we take a look at the history
Just a moment. Sorry.
and the recent activity against enemy number 2, Elon Musk.
I was just on the cover of some big, I think it's the biggest magazine in Germany called Der Spiegel, which is like their Time magazine or something, saying that I'm enemy number 2.
You see the issue here, right? Those two sets of ads can't both be true. They're diametrically opposed and mutually exclusive, but they're both made by the same pro-Trump political action committee to micro-target and manipulate vastly different groups of voters. It is the grossest, most cynical ploy I've seen in an election cycle that's rotten with cynical ploys. It's all made possible by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who has given $75 million to the super PAC that's bankrolling all of those micro-targeting campaigns. Musk is just one of three billionaires, three people total, 1, 2, 3, who taken together have poured $220 million into efforts to elect Donald Trump.
Brazil's Supreme Court has unanimously voted to uphold a nationwide ban on Elon Musk's X. The social platform was suspended in Brazil late last week over concerns about disinformation and X's refusal to appoint a local legal representative. Do you think the ban is justified? It will set a precedent for other countries deal with Elon now, but he goes around the world and censors when certain countries ask him to and doesn't when others do. So his whole free speech warrior thing is a canard. When he's in India or Turkey, he completely cooperates, and actually X is one of the bigger cooperators with autocratic governments in censoring. So his excuse here is because he doesn't like the government. But go ahead.
You just stole all my thunder. I think you're exactly right. Your point is he's incredibly cynical, because when Erdogan or Modi or any other autocrat says, I'd rather you just not do this, he's like, no problem. No problem. So he's totally inconsistent here.
He pays attention to others, but he doesn't care about the United States. In this breaking story, it is Senator Elizabeth Warren who's going to do the work. As of December 2024, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts serves on several key Senate committees, especially when it comes to this letter to the White House and Elon Musk. One of those committees is the Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Senator Warren is the top Democrat on this committee, which oversees matters related to banks, banking, and financial institutions, and notably Subcommittee on Personnel, which focuses on military personnel. These assignments enable Senator Warren to influence a broad range of policies, from financial regulation and economic policy to national defense. Take a listen in this breaking story to the letter she just sent to President-elect Donald Trump. Dear President-elect Trump, I'm writing regarding concerns about the dual roles played by Elon Musk in your transition and the need to resolve his conflicts of interest if he wishes to continue serving as a top advisor to you and your transition team. In the weeks since the election, Mr. Musk has billed himself as an extraordinarily influential figure in your orbit. He spent time after election night with you at Mar-a-Lago, joined your phone calls with Ukraine's president, and met secretly with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations. He has been named the co-chair of the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, tasked with identifying billions of dollars in wasteful spending. He has been referred to as America's most powerful private citizen. But Mr. Musk is no ordinary citizen. He's the CEO of several companies that have significant interest before the federal government. For example, Mr. Musk's automobile company, Tesla, has obtained nearly $42 million in government contracts to provide electric vehicles, EVs, and services to the government. Recently, the company also struck a deal as part of the Biden administration's multi-billion-dollar plan to fund EV charging stations, modifying Tesla's network of charging stations to be accessible for non-Tesla EVs. The government indirectly subsidizes the company and its competitors via $7,500 tax credit for EVs. Similarly, SpaceX, Mr. Musk's rocket company, has received nearly $20 billion in government contracts to provide crucial rocket launches, including missions to the International Space Station and placing national security satellites into orbit. The company provides critical Department of Defense support in Ukraine and around the globe via its satellite-based
Hit the like
internet
button,
service,
please.
Starshield.
Thank you all for coming to my live. Hit the like button, please.
In order to assure the American people that your administration will govern in their interest and not on behalf of the self-interested billionaires who are serving your close advisors, I ask that you or your transition team provide answers to the following questions no later than December 23rd, 2024. What ethics standards apply to Mr. Musk as the co-chair of the Department of Government Efficiency? Has Mr. Musk complied with the transition team's ethics standards that were released on November 27th, 2024? Has he signed the transition team's ethics code of conduct? If so, when did he sign this agreement? Has Mr. Musk recused himself from any discussions or decisions of the Department of Government Efficiency? If so, please provide the list of these recusals. Moving forward, will he recuse himself from matters affecting Tesla, SpaceX, X, or any other company he owns in which he has substantial investment? On December 13, 2024, reports indicated that Mr. Musk was facing potential SEC enforcement actions related to his 2022 purchase of X, then Twitter. Is Mr. Musk recused from matters affecting the SEC? B, on December 13, 2024, reports indicated that the Trump transition team was recommending a change to the NHTSA crash data reporting requirements that would particularly benefit Tesla. Is Mr. Musk recused from matters affecting the NHTSA? Putting Mr. Musk in a position to influence billions of dollars of government contracts and regulatory enforcement without stringent conflict of interest agreement in place is an invitation for corruption on a scale not seen in our lifetimes. As your transition team ethics plan makes clear, the role of government is not to line the pockets of the wealthiest Americans. A strong, enforceable ethics plan for the world's richest man is a necessary first step for delivering on that promise. I am not trying to be an alarmist. I am not trying to scare anyone right before the holidays, but folks, we are on the literal precipice of becoming a country that you, potentially your father or grandfather or great-grandfather, fought to defend the rights of and not become what Donald Trump in his second term, along with Elon Musk's help, the richest man in the world, are about to try and make it become for themselves. Stay frosty.
Please subscribe to Occupy Democrat. I don't understand why is America giving Elon Musk $20 million. Now he's going to be over that funding. So he's going to be able to do whatever he wants to do with the American dollar. Why are we, the Americans, giving Elon Musk billions of dollars, over $20 billion? He's already rich. We have too many homeless people. Why are we not helping people that really need help? I can't understand that for the life of me. Why? Why? $20 billion, not million, billion. He is a billionaire. Why are we, the American people, our government, allowing this? And then they say they can't help with health care. They can help people that are homeless. It doesn't make any sense. You can give a billionaire $20 billion, America, Congress. It doesn't make sense. Elon is probably not even a true citizen from what is being said. It doesn't make sense. Our country is suffering. Why are we helping the rich get richer? I don't understand. I would never understand that. For the life. Okay, the next video we're going to watch, Trump is losing it over the gag order not being removed in his 34 felonies that still stand. He is pissed to the limit because Donald Trump feels that he will be president again January the 25th, which he get inaugurated on the 21st. He feels that he's too good to carry his crime life, which he's still going to have a crime life, believe me. A felon don't stop being a felon. He feels that his felonies should be removed. Well, the judge said, no, hold up. I'm standing on business, Donald Trump. These felonies gonna follow you the rest of your life because you did the crimes. And at the time the crimes were committed, you were not president. They still stand. He's not dropping it. And they will not remove the gag order. Donald Trump is highly upset at this point. Donald Trump is a man like everybody else. He commit crimes. He needs to face it. He's having a meltdown.
Donald Trump is losing his mind right now after the New York judge, Justice Merchan, ruled that Trump does not have absolute immunity following that Supreme Court ruling. In other words, the 34 felony count conviction against Donald Trump in New York stands. Here's what Donald Trump posted, the opposite of presidential, as he has a public meltdown, a public freakout. Just think if you're an adversary of the United States and you're watching someone melt down like this and handle it so much like just a freaking toddler. Here's what Donald Trump writes. He goes, breaking. What are you like? You're a news source? Breaking. In a completely illegal, psychotic order, the deeply conflicted, corrupt, biased, and incompetent acting Justice Juan Merchan has completely disrespected the United States Supreme Court and its historic decision on immunity. But even without immunity, this illegitimate case is nothing but a rigged hoax. Merchan, who is a radical partisan, wrote an opinion that is knowingly unlawful, goes against our Constitution, and if allowed to stand, would be the end of the presidency as we know it. Merchan has so little respect for the Constitution that he is keeping in place an illegal gag order on me, your president and president-elect, just so I cannot expose his and his family's disqualifying and illegal conflicts. I am the only political opponent in American history not allowed to defend myself. A despicable First Amendment violation, exclamation point. Merchan took the Manhattan DA's witch hunt that, according to all legal scholars, including Jonathan Turley, Eli Honing, Andy McCarthy, Alan Dershowitz, Greg Jarrett, David Rivkin, Elizabeth Price Foley, Andy Cherkowski, Paul Ingrassia, so all Fox hosts, other than Ellie Honing. Great job, Ellie, by the way, in lending your name to that because you're a federal prosecutor and were apparently jealous of the New York District Attorney's prosecution. Barred by the statute of limitations, the case was and should never have been brought. Through his fraud and misconduct gave it a semblance of life, while deranged Jack Smith was sent packing back to The Hague after losing all of his politically manufactured cases against me. Merchan, who is far worse and even more corrupt than Smith in his fight for my hopeless political opponents, just cannot let go of his charade. Is it because of his conflicts and relations that he keeps breaking the law? This has to stop, exclamation point. It is time to end the lawfare once and for all so we can come together as one nation and make America great again. The whiniest message in the world. I mean, for real. We should all be honest on the basis of the merits. He's a federal prosecutor. Donald Trump is now the head of the federal government. Therefore, it is DOJ policy to dismiss the case. And Jack Smith made it clear, not at all on the merits, but simply because of the election. The conviction in New York predates the election. You were convicted on 34 separate felony counts. The United States Supreme Court issued its order on absolute immunity, which said core constitutional functions, official acts, and evidence relating to
Ben is the man. I love Ben. Midas Touch.
come into play.
Subscribe to Midas Touch, you all.
The case in New York involving the 34 separate felony counts against you, Donald Trump, as found by Justice Merchan and found by a jury, involved hush money. That was what the case was basically called. It was a fabrication of business records case, and then there was a cover-up thereafter. That's what Justice Merchan put in his ruling. That is essentially what the jury's finding was in finding 34 separate felony counts. The conduct predates when you were in office. What Justice Merchan said in his 41-page order is, he said, look, I've reviewed what the Supreme Court has said on absolute immunity. I've reviewed what the Supreme Court discusses in terms of what the outer limits are. Justice Merchan says, if there is a hypothetical example of something you should not get absolute immunity for, it is essentially making hush money payments to an adult film actress and a quid pro quo payoff. That does not constitute absolute immunity at all. That's what Justice Merchan put in his very detailed order. Justice Merchan also said in his ruling that your lawyers failed to assert on most claims the appropriate objections to even assert absolute immunity in the first place. But he goes, look, even though your lawyers did not do their job the right way, essentially, if you wanted to make these claims on most of the claims, he goes, I'll analyze the absolute immunity claim regardless. So he analyzes the absolute immunity and says, no, this does not fall within the Supreme Court's ruling, does not fall within the outer limits. And then he goes on to say, even if you did get absolute immunity for certain testimony regarding Madeleine Westerhout, Michael Cohen, some of your tweets and Ho Picks, what Justice Merchan said, the evidence of criminality was so overwhelming that any introduction of any of these other facts would be harmless error such that you should be found liable anyway for the crimes that you were convicted of.
One of the single biggest predictors of how long you'll live and how good you
Ben
feel
is
while
right.
living is your metabolic
And
health.
another thing that a lot of people don't know, Donald Trump went to different Supreme Court justice to try to go over the judge. And they all told Donald Trump no. Even the bootlicker, Clarence Thomas, told him no. Donald Trump feels because he put, not Clarence Thomas, he was there before Donald Trump. He feels that he put those Supreme Court justices in there that he can control them. But they're telling him no, you all. They all told Donald Trump no. Like I said, even the bootlicker, Clarence Thomas, said no. And Donald Trump cannot handle being told, sit down, little boy, and obey. He can't take that. He's in that pissy depends, and he is highly upset with the Supreme Court justice and the judge in New York. Even Letitia James got him upset because she is not dropping her charges, nor is, what is her name here in Georgia? Fannie Willis is not dropping the charges either. He is so upset. I understand y'all love Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is not above the law. Donald Trump is not Jesus Christ. Even Jesus Christ will say, if I've done something wrong, I should be punished by law. Donald Trump is not above the law, people. You're not above the law. I am not above the law. No one is. He did wrong by the law, and he shall be punished. He may be your Savior, but he's not our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It's just not going to happen.
Levels has recently launched
Hold
some
on.
exciting /Midas.
Regarding your whining about a gag order and saying that, though, you're not allowed to defend yourself, you're literally posting
A lie.
whiny message
He's lying.
attacking the judge. In this message, you're attacking the judge's family. You're attacking the judge as a radical partisan. Let's be very clear. The judge himself is excluded from the gag order. You can attack the judge, which you are doing now, and you are a convicted felon according to the judge. So there are some limitations. The fact that you think that you need to attack a judge's daughter when
sickening.
you are a president-elect, again, shows the depths of depravity that exists with you. You could go on and read this order. I could debunk more of this stuff. Completely illegal and psychotic order. So you're saying what? Justice Merchan, a New York State court judge, committed a crime by following New York State law? Weren't these MAGA Republicans, weren't they all states' rights people? But now they're not for states' rights when it doesn't involve a ruling that they like. He goes on to call it a rigged hoax, really? Because a jury of your peers in New York found you guilty on 34 separate felony counts. Regarding the reference to Ellie Honig, didn't Ellie Honig say that Michael Cohen blew the case? I thought Ellie Honig said that you were going to win the case. The juries hated Michael Cohen. So I guess Ellie Honig was wrong again there. You say that Merchan has so little respect for the Constitution, he's keeping an illegal gag order. I mean, you could essentially say whatever you want. I just read your freaking statement that you said right now. You said this is a despicable First Amendment violation. Well, by the way, the United States Supreme Court, the federal United States Supreme Court, they've said the gag order is valid. So what do you say about that? New York's highest court, United States Supreme Court, all said the gag order is valid. These are, and on the Supreme Court side, those are judges who you appointed. Then your statement about Jack Smith losing his cases. He didn't lose the cases on the merits. He dismissed the cases because you won. Your Supreme Court justices, the same ones who say the gag order is fine, they made a ruling that delayed justice and time, and then you won the election, and now the case gets dismissed. I mean, it is what it is. Jack Smith had to dismiss the cases under DOJ precedent. That's just what the DOJ does, because you're going to be appointing Pam Bondi to lead the DOJ, so clearly she's not going to pursue the prosecution against you. And then you go, is it because his conflict and relations that he keeps breaking the law? This has to stop. So you're again saying that Justice Merchan is a criminal. You're talking about lawfare, but you're out there literally suing everybody. What you sued the Iowa pollster because they wrote a poll that you didn't like under Iowa consumer protection statutes, but you're upset about lawfare where a criminal jury in New York convicted you on 34 separate felony counts. And then he goes on and just, again, mostly it's just whining. It's whining, and it's using the presidency as a pulpit, not to lead, but to be a whiner in chief, a little baby. Who
A
behaves
2-year-old
like
having a
this?
temper
Anyway, let me know
tantrum.
what you think. But that's Donald Trump's freak out. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers.
Subscribe to
Thanks for watching.
Midas
Love
Touch
this video.
Network, please. Midas Touch Network. Ben is the best. He is one of the best here on YouTube. I love Midas Touch Network. When I tell you I watch that channel faithfully, so educational, great for research. Check them out. One moment, please. This is more about Trump with the judge, how he's whining about the judge, not letting him have his way with Trump. We live in reality. Come to reality. This is not Trump's world 24/7, 7 days a week. It's just that your world consists of being a crime mob. And you taking it into the White House like you did when you won in 2016. Anything Donald Trump ever say that somebody else doing, he's actually doing it. Because that judge is not a criminal, but he's saying the judge is against the Constitution. Donald Trump, you don't even like the Constitution, nor do you follow the rules of the Constitution. But you're trying to say that the judge, never mind.
So I don't know how many people are aware of this, but it seems that Donald Trump, him and his legal team went to Judge Merchan and said, hey, listen, do you remember the 34 counts of business fraud that I was found guilty by a jury of my peers on? And I was convicted by that jury of my peers in a due process, legally bound lawsuit. Well, the Supreme Court says that I have presidential immunity, so therefore you should just, kind of dismiss it. And Judge Merchan said, you know what? I don't give a fuck what the Supreme Court has to say. These crimes happened in 2016 over your personal businesses, well before you were president of the United States of America the first time. So the presidential immunity clause that you're claiming is cause to dismiss this case does not apply here because you are a private citizen. Trump, of course, takes to his social media, Truth Social, and fucking goes ham out, all out, screaming and hollering about this incompetent, illegal, radical left judge that won't do him what he should be doing to him, which is being nice to him and dismissing all the charges against him. I'm innocent of business fraud, when he's not. So let's see if I've got this straight. Donald Trump will be the first president in history to be inaugurated and take the oath of office that is an adjudicated sexual assaulter.
Yep.
As Judge Kaplan stated, he was found guilty of rape in the way that it's considered in layman's terms and not outside of the Manhattan courthouse, and 34 felonies of business fraud. And there ain't a damn thing he can do about it. Of course, that hasn't stopped him from trying to sue every other media company that he possibly can. And now he's going after a pollster because she did not accurately predict that Trump was going to win. So he's going to sue somebody who guesses for a living. He's going to sue her. Why is it that I see the next 4 years of nothing but him going after his freaking, who he deems the enemy of him? I swear to God, the press is the enemy of the people, and the people are the enemy from within. Somebody needs to, I don't know, give Mr. Trump a long nap or something. I don't know, change his diaper. Maybe he's got a rash or something. Anyway, let me go on up into the store. I just thought y'all would like to know. I'm gonna put this.
Where is Donald Trump's pacifier? Where is it? Elon? Where's his bottle? I blame this on Elon because him helping Trump. See, when you're nice to Trump, that makes him more of a monster. You're feeding the monster. So stop feeding the monster. Do not give him a pacifier nor his bottle. Let his mouth go dry. Let him have dry mouth, colic, or whatever you want to give it. Let Donald Trump suffer some because this man has never suffered in his life, so he doesn't know how to treat other people. Stop feeding a monster. And oh, Donald Trump loves to talk about how good he look and bad about Obama, but I'm going to show you something right quick. He should never talk about Obama because Donald Trump is a big, fat slob. His body looks horrible. His skin is terrible. He's so pale that he has to put on a black lady's makeup every day. He's gross. Look at Obama and look at your President Trump. Look at Obama. Beautiful man. Handsome. Nice body. And what y'all got, old frumpy, overweight, 400-pound Donald Trump with horrible skin, flaky, gross skin. He is nasty looking. Melania doesn't want this man. He could never be as fine as Obama. Obama is a handsome, beautiful, kind, respectful, respected president. Donald Trump is not respected by anyone but buffoons. No other country leader respects him. He is a puppet for Putin. Look at Obama, and he loved to talk trash about this handsome black man that left him a great economy. So when Donald Trump went in office, he had nothing to worry about. There wasn't a mess to clean up. But he wanted to tarnish President Barack Obama's legacy because he is a black man with intelligence. And Donald Trump hates black people with intelligence because he has a low IQ and he's low vibrational. That's who Donald Trump is. A man with a horrible legacy. Just think he can erase history. You can't erase history, Donald Trump. You are a horrible man. You are a man that does not like happiness. So you want to destroy America because you're a miserable, fat slob. That's a fact. Look at you. You're fat and you talk about other people that's not attractive. You're nowhere near attractive. You are a monster to this country. You're going to destroy everything that matters in this country because of greed. And greed is going to take you down to your knees. One moment, please. If you're saying something in the comments and you want me to read it, you're going to have to send me a super chat for me to read it. Rude or whatever, because I can see the comments coming up, but I'm not going to bother to read your comments without you sending me a super chat. Send a super chat and I will read it. No, I don't like Donald Trump. I own it and I stand in my thoughts of Donald Trump. And it's facts. He's fat and he looks horrible and his skin is gross. You take a man that's black his age, they're not going to look like that. He look a mess. Look at President Joe Biden. Beautiful man. President Joe Biden is healthy. His body is healthy. He eats healthy. He's not sitting around eating McDonald's, Burger King, all that crap, that unhealthy stuff. Donald Trump's sitting around eating steaks, eating beef, and it's coming through his skin, and he's funky. His Depends is funky. What you eat affects your body. I'm slim and fit because I eat properly. I drink plenty of water. He drinking stuff that he shouldn't be drinking, and it's coming through his pores, making him funky. He stink because of that Depends and what he eats and drink. You ever heard that saying, you are what you eat? We are living in a time we better take care of our bodies because we're not going to be able to afford food soon. We already having hardship buying food. Just wait. You better depend on eating healthy so you can stay alive.
As long as I live, I never want to hear another word from a Trump supporter about DEI, affirmative action, or meritocracy after they voted for Donald Trump to be the first person ever elected president with no experience in government or military, voted for him again in 2024 as the first convicted felon ever elected president, allowed J.D. Vance to become vice president with no experience in elected office until last year, and now picked a white Fox News host to replace a black four-star general as Secretary of Defense. And for Attorney General, the nation's top law enforcement officer, they picked an insurrectionist who had to abruptly resign from Congress this week to stop the release of an ethics report after allegations of misappropriating campaign funds for personal expenses, illegal drug use, sharing sex videos on the House floor, sleeping with a 17-year-old, and child sex trafficking. It's not about qualifications. America's never cared about qualifications or meritocracy. For white people, they only bring that up with black people, women, and any other group of people they dislike at the moment. If you're a straight white male or politically conservative, they couldn't care less about your qualifications. And don't give me any lip about women and people of color in the Republican Party. They are an afterthought who only exist to own the libs and must subscribe to the GOP's hierarchy of patriarchal white supremacy. This is how Republicans play identity politics. If Democrats get a woman, they'll find a woman. If Democrats get a black person, they'll find a black person. As long as the woman or black person follows their narrow conservative political beliefs, the qualifications don't matter. That's why they picked unqualified Clarence Thomas to replace the legendary Thurgood Marshall of the Supreme Court in 1991. Why they picked unqualified Alan Keyes, a random black guy from Maryland, to run against Barack Obama for the U.S. Senate seat in Illinois in 2004. Why they rushed to find unqualified Sarah Palin from Alaska after Senator Hillary Clinton got 18 million votes in 2008. Why they rammed through Amy Coney Barrett after only 3 years as a judge to replace the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the nation's highest court before the presidential election in 2020, and why they picked retired football player Herschel Walker to run against Senator Raphael Warnock for U.S. Senate in 2022. Vice President Kamala Harris had federal, state, and local experience and worked with all three branches of government, and they still called her unqualified. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson graduated from Harvard undergrad.
Highly educated.
Supreme Court justice, served on the U.S. Sentencing Commission, a federal district court, and a federal appellate court, was the first former public defender to join the U.S. Supreme Court, and had more experience than any other justice in the court when they were nominated, but they still claimed she was unqualified. They called the duly elected mayor of Baltimore the DEI mayor just because he was black and happened to be in office at the time of bridge collapse. And they called Biden's entire cabinet a DEI cabinet just because he picked experienced, qualified leaders who weren't all straight white men. This is the delusional brainwashing of white supremacy. And for the Tim Scotts and Byron Donalds and black and brown enablers who occupy the lowest plank of the totem pole in the Republican Party, don't think they won't come for you if you ever dare to grow a backbone and step out of line. To paraphrase Jay-Z's use of the N-word in a way that won't get me censored on this platform: light black, dark black, faux black, real black, rich black, poor black, house black, field black, still black.
Is a con artist. Make Donald J. Trump our president again.
He said he was going to drain the swamp. He did not deliver that.
Send Donald Trump back to the White House.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. We have got to reelect President Donald J. Trump to the White House, right?
He is unhinged. He is more diminished than he was.
I feel no need to kiss the ring. I have no fear of Trump's retribution.
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
This man is a pathological liar. We can fix it. And when Donald Trump is president, we will fix it.
Never have I ever seen a group of politicians, political candidates, congressmen, senators, what have you, who are such zero identity or self-awareness, bottom-scraping sycophants as I have seen in this election.
Trump is a con artist.
They stated the truth. The first things all those people would say are true about Donald Trump. But it's like he put a spell on them. Now they go and they lie like he's this great man that we all know he is not. No matter what you put in that chat, he's dumb as a bag of rocks. He's a con artist. And for some reason, con artists get ahead in life. But God has the last say so.
I don't think anybody understands what just happened in South Korea, but we will. In a matter of 6 hours, South Korean citizens stared down the barrel of a military dictatorship and shut it down. It was only 40 years ago that South Korea had a military dictatorship. Their citizens, they've seen how bad it is, and they're not going to let it happen again. Americans have lost that fight. Not only did President Yoon back down and rescind his declaration of martial law, but as a result, the Korean Federation of Trade Unions, which includes 1 million workers, including the entire Hyundai assembly line, announced an indefinite general strike until President Yoon resigns. Adjusting for population, that would be like if 7 million Americans went on strike to demand the resignation of Donald Trump. The overwhelming response was warranted. South Korean officials announced that they reviewed closed-circuit footage, discovered that in the process of declaring martial law, President Yoon attempted to have the opposition party leader, the ruling party leader, and the Speaker of the National Assembly arrested. They tried to arrest political leaders before they could hold a vote to overturn martial law. President Yoon attempted to overthrow the South Korean government. South Korean citizens have seen this movie before and they're not going to watch a rerun. So instead of allowing President Yoon to provide Donald Trump with a case study on how to overthrow a modern democratic government, South Korean citizens provided us with a blueprint on how to respond if Donald Trump tries to do the same. I don't think anybody understands what just happened in South Korea, but we will. A matter of...
I understand. I do. And we're going to end it with government Newsom speaking on Elon Musk.
On Elon for over 25 years, one of America's great entrepreneurs and innovators. But this is not the person I knew even 2 years ago. And with respect to Elon, I just don't have the confidence that there's other things that he's not up to behind the scenes, not just, again, what he's expressing quite publicly. And I'm very concerned about a country where people like Elon Musk, others that are sucking up to Donald Trump, that will undoubtedly be carved out of regulations, undoubtedly get massive, even larger federal contracts. I mean, it is an American oligarchy that can be formed here. It's, again, very, very serious. I hope people are paying attention. Seeing this from Elon Musk breaks my heart a little bit, again, as someone that really admires his entrepreneurial and innovative tendencies. And of course, we're all beneficiaries from that as it relates to vehicles and issues related to the work he's done in space. But I'm increasingly concerned about those kinds of relationships, not just him, many others that are supporting his campaign. Look, I've known Elon for over 25 years, one of America's great entrepreneurs and innovators, but this is not the person I knew even 2 years ago. And
Do we actually know any of them? Do we actually know Donald Trump? No. We don't know Elon. It's like we're looking at Satan, the Antichrist, and his son, Damien. Let's see if I have anything else. I do. Hold on.
Your senators and let them know that you'll primary their ass before Elon Musk does for free. Welcome back to this episode of US. You don't have to be good at anything. You just have to have money. I'm your host, Casey. I don't have money, but he does. Billions and billions of it, like $400 billion. And guess what he's going to do with some of that money? He's going to buy our Congress so they do his bidding. Actually, this started back in November when part of the Trump team told Senate Republicans, hey, listen, we know you don't like our cabinet picks. We don't care, because guess what? If if you vote against us, we're going to primary your ass. And because we have Elon Musk on our team, we can afford to do that for years. So if at first we don't succeed, his billions will eventually usher someone else into your seat. And then just a couple of days ago, here comes Elon Musk reminding all of the Senate Republicans, I have the money to replace you. And because of the Citizens United case, where the Supreme Court said, there's no limit. The FEC can't make a limit on the amount of money that people can give, the amount of money corporations can give to a candidate. Play on. Because of this, a very small number of donors are financing the people in our government, which is not how democracy works at all. And before I hear any of you in my comments telling me that this constitutional republic is not a democracy, it is in fact an indirect democracy. Thank you so much. It is the people's voices that these elected officials are supposed to represent, not a bunch of oligarchs running around paying them off to vote the way they want to. Just call your senators and let them know that you'll primary their ass before Elon Musk does.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble, America. We are in
Companies
trouble.
received more than $15.4 billion in government contracts in the last decade. So why is he set to lead a government department that has the power to influence federal agencies and change rules that regulate corporations like his? Here are 3 ways Musk could use a government to benefit himself at our cost. Last year, his companies were promised $3 billion across 100 different federal contracts with 17 federal agencies. It's illegal for people with government contracts to make political donations to federal campaigns. But somehow Musk evaded responsibility for his $260 million investment into Trump's campaign, which bought himself a spot on Trump's team and influence over government spending, including his company's contracts. He'll also be able to use his position to push for fewer regulations to benefit his businesses, which have been the target of numerous government investigations about things like the safety of his Teslas or the environmental damage from his rockets. Now regulators will have to think about how actions against one of Musk's companies would influence their budget or authority. That could negatively impact our safety as consumers, the rights of workers, and the environment, but it could also make him a lot richer. Musk could even use a government to harm his rivals and hand him monopolistic power over entire industries. Already, he's pushing to end the government funding for California's high-speed rail project approved by voters in 2008, a move that would clearly benefit Tesla and hurt Californians. There's a lot Musk stands to gain from being Trump's right-hand man, but prioritizing the interests of billionaires like him hurts the rest of us. It makes wealth inequality worse and leaves us with less power as workers and consumers. Elon Musk's companies received more than $15.4 billion in government contracts in the last decade. So why is he set to lead a government?
But he actually has received $20 billion. That's all I have for you all today, all you beautiful kings and queens. You don't have to agree with me. We're living in trying times that's going to get worse once Trump is in office and Elon is his right-hand man. Shall I say he's his fancy pants right now. They spend just about every day together. It's weird. I think he's around Trump more than Melania's around Trump, and that's rather scary. Whew. But I want to thank each and every last one of you beautiful kings and queens for coming to my live. You all are valued. You all are appreciated. And I love each and every last one of you. Before you head out of here, please hit that like button. Thank you. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Goodbye.